My brother threw my son's birthday present against the wall, laughing while he cried in front of everyone. My family said, "Oh, come on, it's just a joke." My father stood up, took off his ring, and slammed it on the table. The room went silent. What he said next shattered our entire family. The sound of slitting plastic echoed like a gunshot in our living room. Then came the laughter, loud, obnoxious, and utterly devoid of empathy. My son, Leo, had just turned 8. He is a quiet kid, sweet and incredibly sensitive, the kind of boy who meticulously takes care of his things. For 3 months, I had taken on weekend shifts just to save up for his present. It wasn't just a regular toy. It was a vintage, custom-built model spaceship. A delicate, intricate project we were supposed to put together side by side. When he unwrapped it, his eyes lit up in a way that made every single hour of overtime worth it. Then, my older brother David walked into the room. David is 32, but he operates with the emotional maturity of a vicious schoolyard bully. More importantly, he is my mother's golden child. He has never faced a single consequence in his entire life, and he uses the excuse of a prank to mask his cruelty. David walked over, snatched the delicate model right out of Leo's small hands, and smirked. "Let's see if this cheap piece of junk can actually fly," he sneered. Before I could even process what was happening, David whipped his arm back and launched the ship directly into the brick fireplace. The crack of the brittle plastic shattering against the brickwork was sickening. It broke into 100 jagged pieces. Leo's face crumpled. He dropped to his knees, burying his face in his small hands, letting out this heartbreaking, breathless sob. And David? He just stood there, throwing his head back and laughing. I saw red. My blood ran completely cold. I stepped forward, hands balled into fists, ready to lay my own brother out on the living room floor. But my mother immediately stepped between us, holding her hands up defensively. "Oh, come on," she scoffed, rolling her eyes at my crying son. "It's just a joke. Don't be so dramatic." David was just playing with him. A joke. My son's destroyed birthday present, his broken heart, was just another punchline for her favorite child. I opened my mouth to scream at her, but a harsh, grating sound cut through the tension. It was the heavy scrape of a wooden dining chair being pushed back violently. Every head in the room snapped toward the end of the table. My father stood there. My dad is a stoic, deeply quiet man, a retired foreman who never raised his voice, never interfered, and always kept the peace. He had been a silent, defeated observer in this toxic house for 30 years. Not anymore. He reached for his left hand. Slowly, methodically, he slid his gold wedding band off his finger. Clack! He slammed the heavy gold ring down onto the glass dining table. The sound cracked through the room like a whip. Complete suffocating silence fell over us. David's smug grin instantly vanished. My mother froze, her jaw literally dropping open. My father didn't look at David. His piercing, icy stare was locked dead onto my mother. 34 years, my father said. His voice wasn't a yell. It was dangerously calm, carrying a freezing absolute authority. 34 years I have watched you coddle a monster, he continued, pointing a trembling finger at David. I bit my tongue while you let him torment his brother. I swallowed my pride, thinking my silence was loyalty. I let you blind yourself to the truth to keep his family intact, my mother stammered, pale and shaking. "Arthur, what are you doing?" "Shut up," he snapped. The sheer force of those 2 words made her flinch as if she'd been struck. He finally turned to David. The look in my father's eyes wasn't anger. It was pure, unfiltered disgust. "You are a cruel, pathetic excuse for a man," my dad said to him. "And you," he turned back to my mother, "are the reason he is exactly the way he is." My mother started to cry, reaching out desperately for the ring on the table. My father snatched it away before she could touch it. "I let you ruin our son," my father said, his voice dropping into a heavy, devastating whisper. "But I will be damned to hell before I sit at this table and let you ruin my grandson." He looked at me. The apology in his eyes shattered me. He had known. He had always known how much it hurt me growing up, and this was his ultimate penance. "Get Leo's coat," my dad told me, his tone absolute. "We are leaving." "Arthur, you can't!" my mother shrieked, panic finally setting in as she realized what was actually happening. "Where are you going?" My father walked over to Leo, gently picked my weeping son up into his arms, and looked back at the woman he had spent his entire life with. "To my lawyer's office on Monday," he said coldly. "Have your golden boy fix the fireplace, because you're both going to be paying for this house by yourselves." He walked out the front door carrying my son, and I followed right behind him. We left them standing there in the dead silence of their own making, completely alone.